strings wisely on it, not 20 years ago. But I think right now we're in the 60 million-ish, billion-ish. And some of it, like we get $3 billion to Israel for defense, but they give us certain research and other things back. We give $3 billion or $1.5 to Egypt, but there's a lot of good reason for that, and it might cost us a lot more not to. Same with Jordan and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is not giving us money back. So
how much we have to Taiwan?
My question is, the federal workers, they actually eat up a huge part of the budget. I think we spent 8% on pensions and like 7% on healthcare. How come they don't have Obamacare? They should have Obamacare like everybody else. They should be, because it's huge percent. We only spent 2% on like the welfare and food stamps. We spent 15% on the federal workers. To me, that's maddening that those people are only taking care of themselves. It's maddening.
yeah, well, they're
Where's the news reporting?
Breaking news now.
yeah.
It's huge. I mean, it's not a joke.
You know,
It's
no
huge.
one has even really gotten into this now. This is the first time that we have the power, and it is really important we keep it. And that's why unity is important. So I would say to the Freedom Caucus, if you have to drink some pond scum on this one, do it. And let's get the job done, because the big picture is more important than what you're doing here. And remember, the leader of the Freedom Caucus is Congressman Jordan. He won by running to the right of who I thought was a very good congressman that I served with, Sally Biggers. And the only threat he will ever have in that district is somebody running to his right. All members of the Freedom Caucus, the only threat they have is to the right. These are very solid Republican districts. So.
On the, getting back to the foreign aid for a quick second, what would happen if we tell everyone, for 1 year, we're not giving you that. We'll give you next year, but not this year. I'll pay for the wall, wouldn't it? 40 trillion, 50 billion, you said the wall would cost? If it's 60 billion.
Mexico's supposed to pay for that.
Well, yeah, but everyone will be part of it. Everyone that's coming in from different countries too will get that. But see, we're not just excluding one country. We're saying everyone's involved in this process. Everyone wants to come in. You might come in through Mexico in different ways of coming through. You know, you'll get through Mexico to get into our country. So in that vein, we'll just say for everyone, just to be fair, like good liberals, right? We'll be fair, and everyone will have to pay a little piece of the pie just for 1 year. You guys are getting nothing, but we'll give you it next year. Wouldn't that pay for the wall?
I
mean,
what's the word?
It's a little too simplistic.
Well, it's simple, but maybe that's the answer, because that is maybe we don't have to overthink.
It wasn't cost to uphold people for 1 year illegally, so we just save money once we close the border, so
That
we
too.
save money on
Well,
that.
that'll be the extra savings. We'll put that in the bank account.
Question for you, it is about our New York City. We're going to have like, what, in 2 years, mayoral elections?
Yes.
This year.
The
This
mayor
year.
is- Yeah, it's already.
Yeah, it's 6
So
months from now.
we, oh my God, we don't have any electable candidate from Republican.
Oh, I don't agree.
Well,
Do we?
right,
Michael Faulkner.
And John
Well,
Katz, I think.
um,
John Katz.
Why we don't know it?
Oh, dear.
yeah, I think soon we're going to have to come to a
It's 6 months.
decision on what we do on the mayor. From a philosophical point of view and principle point of view, Michael Faulkner is far and away the Republican type conservative candidate. he hasn't got a shot in hell, because that program is not gonna fly in New York. It's just not. Massey is a liberal. And,
Tito's a
yeah, and Massey
personality.
has got a chance to win with the budget and the organization. Oh, he's a fiscal conservative, which is great, on the Bloomberg tradition. I mean, he's the extension of Bloomberg, and he's not corrupt. We got Castellanetidis, who I just don't think has an appeal. And, you know, I hope he doesn't primary, but, you know, we may wind up with a primary. I think in a primary, if it's, there's a couple of others. Bodito's not a Republican or a conservative or forget it.
He has no
No,
registration,
he
by
didn't
the
get
way.
the Democrat one.
Yeah,
He checked 2 boxes on his registration form.
yep.
He's an independent.
He put down independence and the Democrat, which means he had, there's no party. But I'd like to say, we know someone who's very knowledgeable and very familiar with New York City. And I would love to see Mr. Turner run for controller. For controller.
Well, no, thank you.
Just wanted to ask.
So, this will be an interesting race, and I think we gotta be practical. I don't think we can win.
Not unless you're a billionaire thing.
No.
Just throw money at it.
It's going to take an incident, something with de Blasio.
Yes. Yeah. He's the
So
clear.
who the winner?
And also, you know, people planning a riot this summer, depends how bad it gets. That could be, there could be a terrorist attack. So without a major incident, or de Blasio may get caught in another form of corruption, we would have a very tough time. Not impossible, but very.
Does former Speaker Boehner's debt ceiling have to be extended soon? Is that likely to happen?
I'm certain.
Yes.
It will happen without,
Oh, no, it won't just happen, it's gonna be an ugly, contentious
that's what I mean,
thing.
won't that be a
But
disaster?
the reason, that's why we had this sequestering, which is probably more destructive than more debt. So,
It's coming off, right? Isn't it in April or May? The debt ceiling issue?
Right up to October now. They
um,
raised it to 20.9 billion, the budget, already. They did it in January.
yeah, in January.
20.9 now.
It's not much money.
It's October
Sure.
before you don't pay the debt.
Trump's, after this healthcare debacle, Trump's next plan of attack supposedly is on tax reform. Do you think that he learned anything from this and he'll get more cooperation either from the Freedom Caucus or even some Democrats to try to get that passed?
You know, I don't know the answer.
Okay.
The thought is, could he get Democratic support? I don't believe they will crack at all. I think they have their mitts on them, and we're gonna have to work it out with the Republicans. And we only, right now, it looks like we have the ability to screw it up.
There's,
Excuse me.
I'm not in favor of any illegals coming into the United States or staying here. And my question is, this wall that Trump wants to build, how effective do you think that it will actually be? And I say that because these people, a lot of them are desperate to come into this country. And there are other ways,
Yeah, absolutely.
to come in. It's just like with the war on drugs. We've been fighting, spending billions, you know, to stop drugs, and it's been totally ineffective. How effective would the wall be to spend all of those billions?
Well, I think of the illegal immigrants, a very small percent
yes.
come across the border. And it's
75%,
not
yeah.
where the wall, the expense of the wall is in really desolate places where there's just a trickle through. So I think this is more symbolic, and there's better uses of the illegal immigration money that we could use in other means. Most people come through the airport.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Bob, bringing up the wall, because the wall is something I've been very interested in. The one place where a wall has been built and has proven to be extremely successful is in Jerusalem.
Yes.
Cutting right
Seen
through
it, been there.
Jerusalem, once that wall was put in, the terrorism, the bombing of, I remember the bombing of buses. I was there for a short time, and you were afraid to go on a city bus because they were blowing up the buses.
Right.
And the wall stopped that, and I think Trump, and I know I've heard people talking about this, looked to the wall in Israel as sort of a model. What can we do here, especially to prevent the terrorism?
I think he's more concerned about the revolution than I have.
That's the, you know, you
I
can say one
just
thing or the other.
And
think,
and
you know,
speaking
we're in
about-
an open society. It is, there are so many ways around it.
Israel is a very open society. They have Arab parliamentarians in Knesset. It's very open. But speaking about airplanes coming in, that's where extreme vetting comes into play. Because you're not coming here on a B1, B12 visa, B6 visa, unless you're asked, what are you gonna do here? What are your plans, and who are you, and what country you come from? It never happens before. People are coming here on visitors visa, they stay. Nobody cares. These two rappers, they come through Mexico from El Salvador. They did not fly in. They just walked in. And when they got caught, Obama said, let them go. And the Border Patrol let them go.
There was recently an MS-13 gang member that was arrested for sexually molesting a 2-year-old, and also something with a couple other women he was involved with. Either I didn't really, I just heard it in passing. Either he killed them or he attacked them, and it wound up being the last time he was deported was in 2011, and he came back, but he was deported 4 times.
Yes.
I meant he found a way to get right back into this country at least 4 different times when he was deported, and to wreak havoc on our society with his criminality. I believe 29 to 33% of our federal prisons or something like that are with illegal aliens. I'm not sure. It was an old
That
stat.
was California.
Well, maybe, but I'm not sure about that stat. I remember hearing something like that. At the end of the day, we cannot allow people to not care about our laws. This is what every other country in the world has their own laws too, and they don't tolerate people waltzing right into their country. I believe Mexico has military on their southern border.
Very strong southern.
You know, so like why do we think we were not allowed to have that?
And by the way,
Or
we
protect
see these
ourselves?
problems in Eastern Europe now, and I know in Hungary and some of
They
these other
build the wall.
countries, and the Bulgarians, they're addressing these issues. And by the way, when people say a wall, it's a very simplistic thing. I think when anybody that is anti-illegal invaders, immigration, whatever you want to coin it as, it means electronic surveillance of these areas, drones, things like that, and as well as seismic sensors, because
Right.
there's a lot of
Tunnels.
illegal narcotics coming in
Right.
from those areas. And by the way, Canada is going to be addressed somewhere way down in the future. I mean, people make jokes about it, but our borders are quite porous, both not only on the south, but on the north.
Yes. Well, people are coming, illegals are going right now to Canada.
Yeah.
Because they know the Trump
true?
point.
Trudeau.
They are.
Yeah.
For those
They
who
are,
like
yes.
Do we have any other questions?
But the Canada said stop.
Well-
Now they said,
they don't
first
want
they said,
it.
come on,
My
come on.
other
do this.
question or comment is, I know there's some angst and people are nervous about the 18 elections. And we all know 3 to 6 months in politics is still a very long time. I know there's a lot of leaning that can be not only on moderate or certain Republicans, but also on Democrats in certain districts in the House. And we also hear that there's a lot more people that have to defend their seats on the Senate side in 18. So Republicans, I think, worst case scenario, could probably even gain a couple of seats in the Senate, I think, on 18. And there's the unforeseen events that I think will happen.
Right now.
Say again?
That is the thinking.
Yeah.
The Democrats have 10 Senate seats they're defending in states where Trump won by more
Double
than
digits.
5%.
And also there's unforeseen events which we do not know. How many people that went out there to go vote, so they're old enough, in 2000, knew what was going to happen about 11 months down the line? That changed the dynamics everywhere. And it can also be big economic events like you pointed out.
And I think that President Trump handled this defeat very well.
Yes, yes.
And
Question back there?
Well, I think traditionally, I think a lot of illegal aliens going to, for instance, European countries, there are like major deportation from like Britain, but the United States, after they have kept them for, the federal government have kept those illegal aliens for a certain amount of time, that most of the time they still, somehow they never really deport them. Is that, I was wondering what is your opinion about the differences, and is that because we do not have a clearer legal strategy or regulation on that, or just that we are more liberal and democratic about this issue before?
well, the politics is that we are driven with a fairly liberal mindset. This is also a cultural war that we're just starting, and I think that Trump is doing the right thing in how we're approaching all of this. You know, maybe from a PR point of view, could we be a little more delicate or sensitive? I think that approach has been defeating. I would rather balls to the walls.
Have more significant amnesty dates and events than deportation dates and events.
I can add a little bit more to that. Part of the thinking in the United States is that America was built from people all around the world. So we have the mentality that, yeah, this is the country, the melting pot of the world. Because of that, a lot of people feel that even today, we need to continue allowing all the people from around the world into the United States, illegal or not.
But I worked 20 years for immigration service in the United States for federal government. I worked on, I believe, 1996 amnesty program. So I know all about illegal immigration and how the laws and how our country, how our government handles this. This is a completely different right now. First of all, it was our fault that we allowed people to come illegally. It was our fault, or I don't know, fault or maybe virtue, that we allowed them to get a job, to have worked in the most unpleasant, most heavy labor, work that we Americans didn't want to do. So there were two amnesties. I believe 1996, and I don't remember which one, right, under Reagan and under Carter and under Reagan. We legalized maybe 6 million one time and around 6 million another time. Look at these figures, right? I believe so. I'm not sure if that's correct. In order for us to talk about what we're going to do with our religion, we really need to build a wall, to make sure that our procedures, and I worked in the airport, JFK, letting people in, checking their documents, and we have to know, and the State Department has to watch whom they let in, immigration has to watch whom they let in, and just to tighten the whole control.
Like it to the travel ban, what do you think is going to happen with the travel ban, where things stand?
We are heading toward a bigger problem than that. I think it may be necessary to send 5,000 troops, Americans and Europeans, to contain some Taliban pushback.